A game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first, right? Before you move.
Hey everybody, it's Galen from the Portland Chess Shop here to bring you another chess commentary. And here I'm bringing the action. I'm bringing Dmitry Jakovenko is playing white here, GM Cool Wizard. He is number 27 in the world right now. He was better. He is higher rated than Vladimir Kramnik in July 2009. He's one of the strongest Russian chess grandmasters in the world, and I'm going to be bringing you his games, showing you what he's doing in Blitz on ICC. And he plays, unlike Nakamura, he plays his like real openings. I think he's like practicing his opening repertoire. So I think we actually get a sneak peek into his real tournament strategies, like his opening, what he would do in a real game. And so it's interesting to see these games. I watched them briefly while I was recording the footage, and I saw that he goes for good positions, you know, and he's not always going for time and often trying to break through. Okay, so let's talk about the game. So Semislav position, something similar to main line. We have a isolated pawn on e6 in front of the king in the center, and that's being attacked by the knight, which is then defended by the knight on c5. I really want to get a telestrator, which is the thing that I would be able to draw the lines on the screen for you guys to like exactly say like where e6 and c5 is, because it's you know, a barrier to entry, obviously, if I'm talking in this cryptic lingo. But yeah, like so e6 is being attacked by the knight, the other knight's defending it, the bishop is moved to attack the knight. If the bishop takes the knight, then something else takes that knight back, then the pawn on e6 falls, which attacks, you know, exposes the black king. You know, it would be attacking the queen and would cause, you know, checkmating threats and things like that. So we have black sort of going in a think. What do I do? How do I defend this e6 pawn that's sheltering my king? What would you do? Alright, so he pushes the pawn, attacking the knight. He's thinking that, yeah, if bishop takes knight, then I guess he plays pawn takes knight, which threatens checkmate on h2 in the corner. I really need a telestrator to draw these lines. And then, so that wins back the tempo, and then he can take back and win a piece. So it's actually a really good move, really deep. I can see the reasoning behind it. So, but GM Cool Wizard, our hero, Dmitry Jakovenko, has already thought of this possibility and moves his knight back immediately. And so he still has 4 minutes and 10 seconds versus 2 minutes and 50 seconds, which is a huge time advantage, a gargantuan, you know, yeah, just really important to always remember the time, because chess is not always about, you know, moving the chess pieces. It's about, you know, there's two win conditions. Some people underestimate it. So the knight has taken the pawn in the center, you know, so now it's a powerful knight. The other knight goes in the center. Both knights are sort of attacking a lot of key squares. And so now the e6 pawn is attacked again. The knight on e4 is attacking some of the dark squares, while the knight on d4 is attacking light squares, because it's noteworthy that knights attack the color of the square that they're not on, which you can see exposed in this example. So the knight goes back to c5 to defend e6. e6 is just a huge weakness. He just can't lose that pawn. It's too important. Queen h5 check comes down, checking the king, attacking the knight on c5. Powerful move. It looks like it could create an edge. He can't play queen f7 because of bishop g6 would pin the queen to the king. So he has to play king over. A huge exposure. King on d8 is very exposed. b4 move is played. This is a sick move, attacking that knight, dislodging it. But if pawn takes back, the king's just going to be too exposed, because there's going to be an open c file, open d file. The king is just going to get checkmated. So now the knight is being attacked. If the knight moves, then e6 falls, which would fork the king and queen, which is huge. So now he is in a lot of trouble. I think he'll have to play c takes b3, but then just after, you know, bishop takes, the d and c file are open, and Jakovenko will go for checkmate. He's up a minute and a half too. He's crushing position. Absolutely good play. E6 is attacked again. If the knight takes, it's going to be devastating. There's open C and D files. There's nowhere for the black king to run. Chess is like a sword fight. You must think first, and then react. Come on! Black! You're losing. You can't win. That's what Jakovenko would say to him. He'd be taunting him in Russian. Spasiba, spasiba. That's what he'd say. He tries to develop a piece. Knight takes c5, sick move. Then when either piece takes back, then he can play knight takes e6 and then take the knight. Yeah, and then the pawn, and then the piece that's left on c5 will fall to the bishop on e3. You see that? So the knight will take on c7, and then if the king takes, then bishop takes c5. Otherwise, otherwise the knight escapes. So he wins a full piece with this move. Very effective. He's not really afraid. I don't have to checkmate. I can go for a huge material advantage. I'm still willing to win an easy endgame. I don't have to, get the king no matter what. So a good move. Queen takes c5. I think that's curtains. Oh yeah, it is over. We can see 1-0 at the bottom of the screen. So thanks for joining us, everybody. I appreciate it. Portland Chess Shop YouTube video. Please like us. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.